Hey there, what is control flow statement? Let us take an example. We humans read and write English from left to right, top to bottom, one line at a time. In the same manner, Python interpreter also reads a program from left to right, top to bottom, one line at a time, and then it executes them. But as the program grows bigger and larger and complex, in the real world scenario, you may want to execute or not to execute certain block of code depending upon a condition. Similarly, you may want to repeat certain steps depending upon a condition. So this is exact the control flow. This is what we call control flow. So if you can see it here, control flow is the order in which the lines of codes in a program are executed. Control flow can be of three types: linear or sequential. As I said earlier, line by line, top to bottom. Selection or decision, where you execute or not execute certain block of code depending upon a condition, and it can be done in Python using if else, if elif else, and nested if. Third one is the repetition, iteration or loop, and it can be done using for else, while else. Using these methodology for repetition, you can repeat or certain steps of a program. Let's jump into the VS Code and see certain examples. I'm going to define here a variable called num, and I'm going to assign it a value 3. Now my purpose is to check if this number is positive or not. So here I can write if num is greater than 0, mind the syntax, at the end of the condition there is a colon and it is starting with if. Once I press enter, you will notice the indentation here. I am using f string here. Num is positive, and at the end I am going to write end of program. So here there is an indentation, that is this print line is inside this line number 3 by 4 spaces or a tab. So if I have to show it via a flow chart, then it will be this. Here is the condition. When if the num is greater than 0, true, then I am going to print num is positive, else end of program, simple, end. If it is false, then again it is going to print end of program. Let us execute this program. Here you see 3 is positive, end of program. So this is if. But what happens if you want to say that okay, if this condition is not true? For example, the moment I make it -3, what happens if I execute this program? I am getting only end of program. So this line of code in line number 10, it is not at all getting executed because this condition is not being met in line number 9. -3 is less than 0. So what if I have to take certain action on the basis of this? We can use an else clause. And here is the flowchart for else. So condition, if it is true, then I am saying num is positive. If it is false, then I am saying I am going to say here it is a negative number. Let us see. So what I am going to do here is that again I am going to press enter and a backspace, so that now I am in line with if. If you can see the indentation of if and else in line number 11, 9 and 11 are same. Else, and again mind the indentation, f num is negative. Clear the terminal. Now here you see -3 is negative, end of program. But what if you want to test for more than one condition? Can we check only one condition whether it is true or false? What I am trying to do here is that if condition 1 is false, then you check condition 2. If condition 2 is false, check condition 3. For that we are going to use elif condition. So if condition is true, then I am going to execute certain line of code. If it is false, then I am going to check again another condition. If that is true, then again another block of code. You see the branches that are coming out of here, and if this elif condition is false, then another thing you can put it over here, otherwise we can have else block. I can come over here and press here elif num is equal to 0, then I can say print it's 0. Now if I go and make it 0 and run it, now I am getting it's a 0. End of program. Let us take one more example. I want to showcase here is that the order in which you are writing these conditions when you are using if and if, it is very important. For example, I am going to define a variable called marks. It is going to be type of integer, and I am asking you to enter marks, how much marks have been you have scored in an examination. And my criteria is that if you have scored more than 80, then you get grade A. If you have scored more than 60, you get grade B. If you have scored more than 40, then you get grade C, otherwise grade D. Let us see. If marks is greater than 80, then I am going to print here A. Multiple conditions, as I said earlier, if it is greater than marks is greater than 60, then print B. Elif again, third condition I want to check, if marks is greater than 40, then I would like to print C. I can end my program without an else clause also, and it is perfectly fine if I leave it up to here, but it is always advised that you put an else condition at the end. If something is missing, then that will go into the else clause. So if I run this program, I will just show you in a minute, and I say marks is 88, then I am getting grade A. Wonderful. If I say marks is 65, I should be getting B. Here you see. Now if I say marks is 35, I am not getting anything over here. So it is not meeting any of these conditions. So that is why I said it is advisable to give an else condition at the end. So if I go and put here print D and run this program again, and again I put here 35, because this is not meeting any of the criteria set above. It is not greater than 80, not greater than 60, not greater than 40. Whatever is left, it is going to grade D. As I said earlier, you need to be careful about the order in which you are putting these conditions. I am going to make a little change here. I am going to make it upside down. So what I am saying here is that if marks is greater than 40, then print D. If marks is greater than 60, no, if it is greater than 40, then it is C. My mistake. If it is greater than 60, then it is B. If marks is greater than 80, then print A. Else we are going to print D. Now let me run this code again. This time I am going to write again 88. Here you see. Now I am getting output print C. Why? Because the first condition that it is checking is marks is greater than 40. Fine, it is indeed. Therefore it is printing C, and it is not going to check any other condition that is given here. And that is why I said you need to be careful about the order in which you are putting these conditions. Another thing is that earlier I said that you need to put in the next line the action or the branch that you want to take, and there has to be indentation. That is not entirely true. You can put it over here. So I can put it something like this here as well, and it will work as earlier. There won't be any problem. We can check that. I enter 55. Now it should be giving me still C, because it is greater than 40. if I put here 33, then I will be getting D because it is not meeting any of the conditions. So now the thing is that whether you should be putting the action condition onto one line, like here condition onto one line and the action onto another line. If there are too many conditions, then probably it would be better, and one liner, both the things, then probably it is better to put it into onto a single line like this. But if there are multiple conditions and multiple line of code here, for example, if I write here something like this as well, print hello, you scored very well. If I put something like this here, then it makes sense to have the indentation, something like this. Otherwise, it will be a problem. These conditionals, when they are combined with logical and comparison operator, they become very powerful tool. This is what I have said in my video on logical operator as well. If you have not seen that video, I will put the iCard up above you, and as an end screen also you can go and watch that. So this is it for this video. I am going to upload all these codes onto my GitHub page and put the link into the description box. If you find this video useful, consider giving it a like, share it with your friends and subscribe to my channel. Till that time, happy coding.